Welcome back, Shelby Wallow joining us from Abbott Wealth Management. We're talking off the air. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Happy Wednesday to you.
Yes, you too.
Yeah, we are doing a continuation of a topic that we did last week in regard to inheritance, the importance of having a plan should you leave the earth a little earlier than you think, or even if you live to be 95, you want to make sure you know what's happening.
Yeah. So I think it's a good one because people often leave this kind of planning till too late, not too late, but too far in life where, you know, if you are looking to cover costs off with insurance, it's far too expensive and it's no longer an option. So you don't want your kids, if you are passing on a second property, so we're going to talk about family cabins today as an example.
Okay.
So when you pass it off, your tax bill could be extremely high and there's no way your children are going to be able to pay for it. So they're going to have to sell the asset. And that's usually not most families' intent. So I just have my first board here.
Let's take a look. There we go.
So these are just exactly kind of what I said, just reasons why you would get insurance in place to cover off some big, large gains.
Okay.
And you can do it in multiple ways. You don't have to do an insurance policy where your kids are the beneficiary to reduce a tax bill. You can also, if you feel passionate about a charity, you could list them as the beneficiary and that still reduces your tax bill as well.
Okay.
So that's another way to do it. And if we look at my next example here, this is just a rough kind of calculation.
Here we go.
So we have a $1 million valued family cabin, and as you know, on the shoe swap, there's multiple cabins that have that kind of value.
For sure, or more.
And then we know our adjusted cost base, so that is what they paid for it, which in lots of people's situations, they've owned cabins for 15 to 20 years. So let's just say they paid $150,000 for this house.
Okay.
They have 3 kids, there's the mom and the dad that own it, they're in their 50s, they're non-smokers. So I did an approximate calculation, and I know that it's almost $215,000 capital gain for these kids.
Wow.
I don't know a lot of people that have, so I did the calcs down there, just over $70,000 to pay for tax.
That's crazy.
And who wants to pay that either, right?
No.
Like, that's not fun.
No.
But there is no way to avoid it. So you do have to think of some kind of plan to do that if you intend to keep the asset. And that's another thing. A lot of the times, parents don't actually talk to their children about, like, do you want this cabin? Because sometimes they don't actually want it at all.
Right.
So that's another thing to plan for.
Don't be afraid to have that conversation.
Exactly, and have it early so that your kids can plan for it.
Yeah.
So I did a little example of how insurance can benefit you. So I did it so it's a $215,000 joint last to die policy because when parents pass away, the gain is on the last passing. So who's going to own the policy? I said the sons will because they're inheriting a large asset. They're benefiting from it. So why would mom and dad pay their own premiums, right? So that's why they should pay, and the result is they get to keep that family home, which is, you know, at the end of the day, if that's their intent, then they are going to need something in place to make that happen.
Absolutely.
And if we look at the next slide, it kind of breaks it down. So I did a rough calculation of what a quote would be for that.
Yes.
So they are in their 50s, so it is a little bit more expensive. The younger you are, the better you are ahead because your premiums are going to be, you know, a lot lower. So $246 a month or $2,870 a year, but that's divided by 3 boys. So that's only $959 each per year.
Okay.
And you're insuring if they live till they're age 93, because in my quote that is saying their life expectancy. So if they make it all the way to 93, each child will only have paid $37,000 in insurance premiums. So, you know, that versus their actual tax bill in cash is not so bad, especially because it's spread out over multiple years. You're not getting that huge gain right in front of you to pay for right away.
Absolutely.
And they each would receive their lump sum of $71,666 to cover off that gain.
Yes. See,
so
it's about
why
the
not
pre-planning.
insure that risk, right?
Absolutely.
And had they planned early, they could be paying even less in premiums and benefiting even more.
Okay.
So there's so many options that people can do now.
Right. It's just about getting on top of it ahead of time, making sure you know what the best option is for you and the people you are leaving things to.
And if they want that asset.
Yes.
So having those conversations are very important.
That's right. And if they don't want that asset, they can give it to me because I would like a cabin on the lake.
Who wouldn't want that?
Right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
If you have any questions about inheritance planning or if you're thinking about putting a plan together because you've put this off, a lot of us do. Information on the screen, abbottwealth.com. You can also give them a call, 372-3736. We are back after a quick break. Stay with us.